Hi, welcome to another episode of Two Geeks and a Load Balancer. I'm Nathan here with Chris again, talking about Kubernetes. And this next question, one of the challenges that we see often come up is analytics for load balancing. Can you kind of explain some of that?
Yeah, sure. So if you think about where a load balancer sits, right, in for a minute, take off the old Kubernetes hat, put on the enterprise VMware VM hat, right? Just load balancer sits in front of all your applications, and it does SSL offload, it does SSL decryption. What does that mean? It means that the load balancer has unparalleled insight into what is actually happening to the traffic coming into your environment. And so it's able to sort of look at layer 7 headers. It's able to look at all the TCP timestamps. It's able to look at all of those different things. And so what a great place to have a sort of ipso facto tap, right? People pay for taps and they put them in their infrastructure, and they invest in monitoring infrastructure because everyone wants to know what's going on, because when something breaks, you got to know why it broke. And I think this question is this is really where Avi and AKO and our Kubernetes offering really shines, because I think because of the Avi architecture, the software-defined architecture that I'm sure everyone's familiar with, we have the proxy operating on the service engine, and then we have this controller. And the controller has all of the compute in the world to process and analyze analytics, right? It can take all of the information from the service engine, it can make sense of it and give you really granular insights to what's happening. So if you stick Avi and you stick us in front of a Kubernetes cluster, and use this for ingress or gateway API or anything like that, we can give you per route, in the case of gateway API, per route, per ingress, per path, we can give you that level of granular analytics. And as I said before, we're the front door to all your applications, right? Front door, you've got to come through us to get there. So there's no additional overhead. It's just come in, we'll do the SSL decryption, send all the metadata up to the controller to make sense of it, and then pass the traffic on with no hit to you. So it's a very strong solution from that perspective.
Gotcha. And then you can take these analytics and you can view them locally, you can export them.
Exactly. And again, one of the other, obviously a bit biased, work for VMware, work for Avi, but I mean, one of the other cool things about what we've seen people do, like real life customers do, is you'll have a platform team own the controller, own the Kubernetes cluster, developers are running ingresses, gateway APIs within the cluster. What you can do with Avi is, because we have really strong RBAC and it's very granular, you can give the developers access to their own virtual services, so they can troubleshoot their own ingress. They can get to the bottom of what's happening to their own applications very fast. And so, in one particular financial services company we were working with, they would have developers would have RBAC access to the controller. They know immediately what's going on with their own applications. They don't have to open a ticket to the load balancing team. They don't have to do any of that stuff. They can get straight in there, see what's happening, rule this or this.
How much closer to that nirvana of self-service.
Exactly.
Yeah, people can self-service their own applications, and the network team's involved. Everybody can be involved, but I own this and I own the visibility. I understand what's happening to it. Exactly. Not just that I own it, the application, but I own the visibility of the applications, even if that visibility came from further upstream.
Exactly. And it's out of the box as well, that you're not stringing together various different open source tools to get some level of graphing or some level of what have you.
Gotcha.
Box ready to go. And we'll tell you what's going wrong. I mean, we'll alert you, non-read detection, machine learning, that type of thing. So
okay. Cool. Thank you, Chris.
No problem.